Welcome, everyone. You're in the ring with Mia St. John, and we have some very special guests today. One of them you already know. My daughter, Paris St. John, is here. She missed the last couple episodes, so we really missed you, and we're glad you're back. We are at Daniel's Place, which is a center for young adults who are experiencing their first episode of a mental health issue or homelessness. And I actually have my boxing program here every Tuesday and Friday. And today we have some of my students who are going to share with us their experience of being homeless and some of the struggles that they've had. As you know, that Los Angeles has one of the highest homeless populations in the country. But we normally don't think of kids being homeless or young adults. We think of like the typical, stereotypical homeless person, which is probably someone older. You know, we picture the old lady with the shopping cart. And so we're not really thinking, these kids are like, they're my son's age. So in their 20s, I just can't even imagine what they go through every day. So we have Rob, who is from, where are you from? You're from Detroit. You want your head? Rob, all the way from Detroit. We have Shane.
Hey.
Where are you from, Shane?
I am originally from St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, cool. Okay. Why didn't I know that? Did I know that? Okay. Yeah, you did. I know. I have a boxer's memory. And we have this gentleman is not a student of mine, but he's a friend of Shane's, and he is part of Daniel's Place. So, yes. And this is Marcus. Welcome, hi. Marcus.
Again, I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, cool. Mm-hmm. I remember you telling me that.
Yes.
And we have Alan, who is part of my program, but he's choosing to be incognito. Yeah? You want to say hi?
Hello.
Hello, Alan. And oh my gosh, and we have a very special guest, one of my beloved students who is, well, I'll let her tell you her story, but her name is Lexus. Say hi.
Hi.
Everybody's asking me who you are because I put your picture on Twitter, but you don't have a Twitter. Everybody's like, who's the girl? Who's the girl?
What's your dog's name? Annie.
And she carries her dog around. Come sit, have a chair. We have Maria here, who's the director of Daniel's Place. And I just want her to give you like just a brief summary of Daniel's Place. Kind of like the mission statement, so everybody knows exactly what it is. We're located in Santa Monica, California, but we have Maria here to tell you a little bit more about Daniel's Place.
Daniel's Place started about 20 years ago, and actually 20 years this year. And it's a drop-in center, and we're here primarily to serve youth who are experiencing onset of mental illness or who are experiencing homelessness. So we provide a variety of services, including mental health, individual and group mental health services, along with case management. We help link youth to housing, permanent housing, as well as transitional housing. And we teach them life skills. So cooking, learning how to clean up behind themselves, be good, productive citizens of society. We have a clothing closet. We have hot meals 7 days a week. We do laundry. And we have a variety of different kinds of groups, including Mia's class, music classes, arts, just anything that you can think of to help keep everyone engaged and, busy until we can help you get into school and employed and housed.
And Maria she's just amazing with these kids. I call them kids because, I'm a little bit older. I'm a couple of years older than they are, about 30 years. But what's interesting is, Maria wasn't here when my son was here. My son Julian was here probably about a couple of years before he passed away. And so when I was told, like, oh, there's this place, Todd, the CEO, told me, because I was teaching at Step Up, he said, oh, there's another place that you might want to teach at. And so when I pulled up here, I was just freaked out, like, oh my God, this is where my son used to come. And it was so weird because nobody showed up. The first day of class, nobody showed up. Nobody was here except one guy sitting there on the sofa.
Really?
And yeah. And so my son's name was Julian. So there was only one guy on the sofa. And I asked him, I said, hi, what's your name? And he said, Julian. And I was like, whoa, there's nobody here. But that was a big sign that I meant to be here. So anyway, I came back the following week and so on and so on. And so now we actually have a big group. But I want to hear from you guys, your struggles. What's it like being homeless? What are some of the challenges that you've faced? Let's start with Lexus. She has a very interesting story. Yeah, when I was told that you slept at LAX, I believe. Is it LAX?
Mm-hmm.
It just like blew me away because I just could not even imagine. But you told me why.
Yeah, I just feel more safe there. Like, even though I'm stopped by the police and they want to like card me or see what's going on, like, why am I there? I'm not flying out. I still feel safe there. So
yeah,
I'm just there at night. And then in the morning, I just get up and leave.
Yeah. And what people don't understand is you have a very good point because my son was homeless a lot. And not because I didn't want him, but, you know, my son was addicted to drugs. And so I would find him in parks and park bathrooms and on the street. And I know that his girlfriend was the same way. And she experienced so much out there on the streets being homeless, from rape to being robbed. And so it is very dangerous.
Yeah, it is. And I'm recovering. So I was using crystal meth for like 6 years and I've been clean for 3. So
congratulations. Yeah. I know that's so difficult. My son was addicted to meth.
Yeah.
I was told it's just one of the harder drugs to come
it's almost
off.
impossible not to do it no more.
Right. I was going to say that, but I didn't want to say the word impossible, but I was told that it's very difficult.
Yeah.
Rob, why don't you tell us a little bit about your story? Because I know you have an interesting story. All the way from Detroit.
Yeah. I lived most of my life, or you can say I grew up in Detroit.
Yeah, come closer to the mic. Sorry.
And I don't know. I guess I just came out here to find myself. I originally left because I was stuck in an unhealthy situation where I could have acted out violently and ended up in like a bad situation, and put my life where on a road that it shouldn't have been going down. So
can you tell us anything you want to share?
Just the people around, they weren't really
Who were the people around you?
The people just
mom, dad, friends?
No, it's nobody in my family. Me and my family, we're all really close. It's just
friends,
the outside influences that tried to impose on the family. And
the area you grew up in.
Yeah, that and I just I couldn't really deal with that, so I just I came out here.
How'd you get here?
I took a Greyhound.
Really?
Yeah, I took a Greyhound with the last of my money. I hit it back, but then I was like, nah, that's not gonna work. So I came back again. And collectively, I've been here around, I'd say like 9-10 months.
And how long of that time have you been homeless?
The whole time. So I'm just now transitioning into getting housing. I lived out a storage unit for like most of the time that I was here. Slept on the beach. I slept in front of this place actually. Slept in Griffith Park. I slept downtown. But I don't look at that as like something like as a scar or anything. I look at that as something that builds me to be something greater than what I am.
Because like a learning experience.
Yeah, because I know an experience can either make or break you. And I'm never going to let my experiences break me. It's not going to happen.
You have a fighter's mentality.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And Robert's one of my students. He's an awesome boxer. He likes to move around a lot. He's like a Sugar Ray Leonard.
I'll try.
So, and what are your goals? Like, what you must have come out here with some idea of like what you want to do, what you aspire to be one day.
Basically, it's just self-preservation. I wouldn't say self-preservation. It's Basically, I want to grow. I just want to be better. I just want to like always evolve.
Always evolve.
Yeah. Like, because nobody taught me. They you're born into this world and you're supposed to conform and fit into this mold.
Like Paris was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get a job, work that job until you retire, and then live off your retirement money. Like,
right.
That's something I can't do. Like, and once I really put that in my mind, once I like really looked at how the world wants you to operate, it kind of made me depressed and like almost suicidal. Like, why would I do that? I'd rather die.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I think like all of us here are like, think that way. Like we probably have never or ever will fit into that mold. You know, I know I felt that when I was your age, and I know Paris feels that way. Lexus, do you ever feel that way? Like you're never going to fit into that typical, stereotypical mold of what society wants us to do?
Sometimes I do. It's hard to deal with, but what can you really do about it until there's a change?
Well, I think the important thing is that we learn to love ourselves for who we are, even if we don't fit that.
That's the primary objective.
Yeah. But so you said that like you weren't made to work that 9 to 5. I know that neither one of my kids were either. My son was an artist. My daughter's a singer. What do you, because I know you have dreams.
Yeah.
What are some of your dreams?
Like I said, anything that makes me better. Like once I met Shane here, like my friend, he showed me like that he was a Wing Chun artist. And I was like, wow, that's something that I wish they taught in schools or something. Like that's something that can help me like get on a soul level. Yeah. So like just like things like that, art, Wing Chun, just like self-building things that help me be a better person overall.
Sharpening tools, which I like to say. That we all possess certain tools. We just have to just take a time and realize our unique tools and just sharpen them. Because we all in this room don't have the same tools as everybody else.
Shane, why don't you tell us your story? You're from St. Louis, Missouri.
Yes, I am born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri. You want to tell you guys how I got here?
Yes. I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, I have to take a breath because
both of you like so far away.
It's a lot going on. I experienced homelessness, mental issues for on and off of my life since I was 13, 9 years old. Mostly the homelessness infected me around, I want to say, early 2010. I started experiencing homelessness on and off. Sometimes I would get kicked out my house. I would spend nights on the streets. Just relationships with like family and stuff like that got in the way. But overall, I always kept a decent relationship with my family, always, because that's one thing that always keeps me strong and like giving me like very, very like weird strength. I can't like explain it. So my experience with homelessness started around the year of 2012. I'm the oldest of 4 in my family. Me, my mom, and my siblings had a house. We struggled a lot. So that year, buying a house was like a really big deal for us. Come to find out that the house that we was buying from, the owner was not the owner. So we got scammed out of money for like a half a year of like a very long time. It was very embarrassing and just like very, it was very hurtful. So we got evicted out of our house. So me, my brothers and sisters, my mom, my stepdad, we was all forced out into the streets. Mainly me, because I'm the oldest. I take that responsibility, because my responsibility as the oldest, I make sure all my siblings, my mom, my stepdad, everybody's safe. I am the last one to that's just the way I see it. I'm the last one who gets the, how can I say this? Who gets taken care of, technically. So I was working a full-time job at this time at the Rams Stadium back at home before they moved to Los Angeles. I did not like that job. I mean, the job was cool. It was I had a lot of good experiences and stuff, but I just knew it wasn't what I wanted to do, and I wasn't going nowhere with that job. And especially like being on the streets, being homeless, watching your mom on the streets, and like taking care of her. Like I'm working like 6 days, 7 days a week. I'm on and off, sleeping at other people's houses, sleeping in parks, sleeping on streets. And back at home in the winter, like, you do not want to be on the streets. A lot of people die. People freeze to death. So that went on for a couple of years. Around 2015, my mom passed away. And things just got worse. I was very just...
Shane, your mom must have been very young.
My mom was 43 when she passed away. She was very young.
Can I ask how she passed away?
Multiple symptoms. My mom was, well, people like to say, and no disrespect to my mom, and I love my mom very much, but she was a very functional drinker. She died from alcohol poison, neuropathy, heart problems, high blood pressure, everything just hit her at once. She was, I was actually the one that was in charge of who decide who pulls the plug or not. That was just very heavy and very stressful to deal with. But just knowing that responsibility. But just, that happened. I find myself on the streets just with like major depression and just anxiety. I just knew this was a new path for me. My mom didn't raise me, raised a very decent and respectable young man. I always kept that as like a strength of everything she taught me. Is all that, like I say, tools that I like to sharpen, what she taught me and gave me. Around this time, I was staying at other friends' house. I was staying at my godparents' house for a while because she promised my mom she'd take care of me after she passed. So I stayed there for a while. So going through all of this, I literally didn't know what to do. I just remember one night, it's like 10:30. I was like around my hometown skate park. I've been a skateboarder for 16 years. And that's like one of my favorite spots to go to hang out at night, just to free my mind and just to escape. But I didn't have my skateboard that night. I was just riding a bike, just thinking. And I was talking to the Lord, the universe, whoever you guys like to call them, you know. And at this very moment of speaking, asking for help, I just wanted to change. I didn't want to be in the city no more. The memories and things I would think about was just too painful, it's too unbearable. And not only that, I didn't have a mom. My mom's gone. I don't have nowhere to stay. Like, I just quit my job at the stadium. I couldn't take anymore. So I just very instance as I talked to the universe. There's this car in front of me, which I perceive in my perception is a regular old car, a Honda, whatever, all black. So I'm riding behind this car, and it throws out the back window of like my perception of what I think is just trash, or like just some junk. Just somebody just threw out the window on the ground. So I roll over it with my bike. I look down, hit my brakes like really, really hard because I couldn't believe what I seen on the ground. It was literally $675 on the ground in all cash. That was just honestly unbelievable. It's difficult. I don't want to say it's not difficult to talk about. It's very hair raising every time I talk about this because it seemed like something straight out of a movie.
Right.
So I get to my godparents' house, which they was helping me out at the time because they knew my situation. And I just throw the money on the ground. My godfather, he passed away a couple years ago. I just remember talking to him because we talked a lot. And I just remember exactly every word for word that he told to me. It was just very short. And he told me, well, you know what you got to do now, don't you? And I knew. That same night, I was doing searches online of like different places to go. Like, how can I make this? Like, 'cause I have to leave. I have to. This is a brand new start for me. This is probably the most bravest thing I ever did in my life. Like doing internet searching. So like, what's the number one place for a skateboarder to live? Because that's all I really cared about. I don't know if I can like live and be around skating and skateboarding. That's all I really cared about. So Los Angeles always came at number one. It's like always wondering like why Los Angeles. It kind of stuck. And I always remember the last conversation I had with my mom. We always talk about leaving the city, starting a better life, starting a new life. Just like actually like enjoy life and not struggling and dealing with the problems that we deal with for like years and years and years. So that night I booked a ticket to Los Angeles, California. And I wanted to say goodbye to a lot of people, but I knew my godmom was already crying her tears out because she knew I was leaving. That was really hard. So I really didn't. I wanted to say goodbye to a lot of people, but I couldn't. It was just, this is a weird feeling. So I left. In 3 days after I found that money, I didn't waste no time. I booked a Greyhound ticket to Los Angeles. It's like one of the most like memorable experiences in my life. Just like going, like just feel like I was just going to the unknown.
But wasn't it kind of exciting also? I mean, scary, but exciting.
Yeah, it was scary, exciting.
I did that too when I was, how old were you?
24.
Yeah, I think I was like 19, and it's so weird that you said $645 because that's about what I had. I had like $600, but I had a truck. So I got in my truck and it's so weird. I knew I was going to California, just didn't know where. So I just kind of, closed my eyes and went circled my hand around and put a pin, pin the tail on the donkey. Yeah.
It's similar to what I did. When I did it with my phone on the internet,
and it said Van Nuys. And so I moved to Van Nuys. This is 1985. And so I rented a studio apartment in Van Nuys for $300 a month. And I had $300 left for food and to try and find a job. But anyway, I slept in my truck a lot. And so, but of course, I'm sure you'd say it was all worth it. And what I noticed from you is you're so, first of all you guys are just so polite and so kind-hearted, and have you guys always come in with this positivity, and that's something I always see from you, Shane. You're always smiling and laughing, and I don't know if it's fake, you're putting on a show, but you're always a happy person.
I don't want to go too far back into my life story, but if you knew a lot of things that I've been through, I have no time to feel any pain or any suffering anymore because I can't take any. I can't. So every chance I get to smile, I have to be positive, I'll take advantage because I have to.
You've been through so much.
I've been through so much. Where's
your dad?
I never met my dad, my biological father. My stepfather passed away just last year. Same condition of my mom. They died in the same hospital. Around the same year and month. Well, not the same year and month, but around the same.
How old was
month.
he?
43, 44. It was around the same age.
So young.
And he actually died right next to the room which my mom died in.
Robert, where's your dad?
He's in Upper California somewhere, in Oakland.
Somewhere?
Yeah.
So you don't really know?
No. I mean, I talked to him, but he was never really there.
I want to see a raise of hands in this room. How many of you know your dad? I don't even know my dad. My dad left as well. I don't know if there's a link between growing up fatherless or not. But how many of you have fathers in your life right now? Oh, okay. That's actually a lot.
Yeah. Pretty happy about that.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
And Lexus, where's your dad?
He lives in Long Beach.
Okay. Is he supportive?
He was supportive. Last year in December, I was able to move in with him, but I think he has mental health issues that he's not really trying to be aware of. He's really in denial about it. So he tends to take it out on people. And while I was there living with him, he took it out on me. So he got really aggressive and he was very verbal about everything. So I just left.
But he's still in your life.
I don't know, I guess.
Or do you talk to him? And
I haven't talked to him in a month.
Oh, okay. Marcus, you're quiet.
Hi.
What's your story? I don't know you because I've met you before, but
yes, I know we just met. I think it was last week.
Yeah. You got to start our boxing program.
I definitely okay. like to. Am I good?
I'm still the mic. Marcus actually is a very good friend of mine, and he's actually one of the very first person I ever met when I came to Los Angeles.
Wow.
So it's just introducing Marcus.
Yeah, word. That's very true. Thank you. I would say my father, he left mother when I was 3 years old. But she did meet my now stepfather when I was in kindergarten. So that was kind of a thing. But it's never really the same. Anybody who knows, to be real, it's not the same. There's a difference.
I think Maria wanted to say something about a topic we were discussing.
Yes. I wanted to say something about the Black community and kicking your child out early.
Yes, yes.
I definitely believe that America is very individualistic and not community driven. And, but I also do feel that the Black community has a real problem with separating from their children early, whether it be because of system involvement, but a parent making the decision to put their child out early, I think really stems from poverty in a lot of cases.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was getting
to. The poverty in the Black community stems from slavery, and not having the same opportunities and no one telling you that you're able to do the things that everyone else is doing.
Exactly.
And, my entire life growing up, and I was homeless as well when I was a youth and I was very young. And, I've heard so many parents say they couldn't wait till their kid got out of the house. And now I'm a parent and my son is 19 years old and I'm almost balled up into a ball crying because he's in college and I don't want him to go. So what I will say is this, is that, you can't change everyone's mind, but you can change the path of the future.
Exactly.
So you don't have to do the same with your children. And since we were talking about the separation of families, I mean, these are things that can really be corrected in some way. I think a lot easier than the cultural issues, the trauma that's genetically programmed into every person that's a descendant of a slave. And the fear and looking at someone and thinking something nefarious is going to happen, or just believing that you're not worth anything.
Right.
You're not. And I mean, I think the choice to go to a trade school in many cases is because people don't believe they're going to be successful going to a community college or to a 4-year. And I always tell everyone, I push for just go to the 4-year. But the community college is there. And especially if you feel that you need your hand held a little more, or that you have some sort of deficiency, when it comes to your understanding of something, you're afraid, even if it's just the fear. Community colleges are there to hold your hand a little more. There's more services there. And now in the Cal States, you can pretty much get a lot of the same services, but there was a time where there weren't as many, and so I think that these are just systemic things, and it's reprogrammed in a number of different ways into younger people who don't even understand where it's stemming from. And so you don't have your family, you don't have values, the cultural, the value in family and in your culture. And then you deal with economic issues like becoming homeless. Let's say your parents didn't kick you out. Somebody passed away in Shane's, instance, they were fraudulently, money was taken from them. And they, because of a person's dishonesty, out on the street. And then you just have to do what you have to do to figure out how to survive, then you have all these other challenges. Where's your support system? You don't have the proper support system. So if you don't have your support system, who's there telling you that you're worth something? Who's telling you that you're able and you're capable despite all those challenges? And these kinds of programs, Daniel's Place has been around for 20 years, but these kinds of supportive programs, have targets, of transition age youth, and experiencing homelessness has just become something that's being addressed.
Right.
20 years ago, that wasn't the target, Right. So when you have these kinds of things and you don't have the supports, that sometimes your culture teaches you, then you're at an even larger disadvantage. So
I think we have too few of these programs, the transitional youth, because I think there's just so much money goes to the prevention and kids. And I always hated that because I felt like my son had just so few options, because he was already over the age of 18, and the same with my daughter. But we actually have Todd Lipka, the CEO, the big dog, is in the house. And Todd, what do you think? You want to come come over here and tell us what you think. Todd is the CEO of Step Up, which is Daniel's place is a part of Step Up.
I think what Maria and you were talking about is exactly right. So wonderful to hear your stories.
Thank you.
Very moving.
Yes, sir.
And compelling for us to think about you as young adults and minority adults, and how do we, because a lot of the system was built around adults who are single and many of them white. And we know that with young adults, the adult model doesn't work. It's not the same thing. With adults, we talk about permanent supportive housing for those who've been homeless for a long time. I mean, just think about that. For young adults, nothing is permanent. When you're in your 20s, you don't think in terms of permanency. So even the terms we overlay. So we've gotten better at thinking about young adults, and then how do we cater a model that works for young adults. And in our organization, we know that young adults, once they get off the street, they want to go right into employment and back to school. They want to restart their lives.
That's the main focus. That's all when I can tell you clearly what I thought about being on the streets. Education, employment, and just finding stable. Like it's like, how can it, like Rob was saying, like how can I find this stable, of which America is telling us which we can have, and which I can't find at all.
The dream, the American dream.
The dream.
So we know now to infuse housing for people your age with as much connection to jobs and to schooling, back to schooling, whether it's GED, community college, for your university, whatever, and to make it less complicated to get you into that system, to remove the barriers to the system. It's all about whether it's the housing system, the homeless system, the educational system, they all present these major barriers to getting into those four walls. And it's really about removing all those things that make the system more responsive to your needs, rather than you having to totally accommodate whatever the system demands. But I think we're getting more and more services for young adults, but there's still far too many.
Far too many.
Far too few.
I was like, well, wait a minute. I just want to, real quick before we end the show, I want to just raise your hands if you've ever suffered from anxiety. Yeah, I know, definitely my daughter. We're both like, we have terrible anxiety. I think the producer even raised his hand. Did you raise your hand?
Yeah, I've been homeless twice, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you would have never expected that. Who has suffered from depression? Everybody, just for those who are listening, on iTunes, depression. How about addiction? Oh, okay. That many.
Do marijuana count?
Oh,
You can't get.
are you addicted?
No, just joke.
Yeah, no.
I think you can.
No,
I know
it's-
people always say that, but
You can't.
I think you mentally can get addicted.
I have experienced a time in my life where I literally thought I was addicted to marijuana. And
I think
thought
you can
And I thought
be.
it was literally a problem. Like I wanted to go to school, I wanted to get a job, but I could not stop
Right.
smoking weed because
That's an
I feel like
addiction.
I needed it for my depression and my anxiety,
Right.
my PTSD.
Paris, weren't you addicted to marijuana?
I mean, you explained the definition of addiction is when you want to stop something, but you feel like you need it. You can be addicted to anything,
yeah, mentally.
like literally anything.
Yeah, potato chips.
Keeping it real.
I dealt with that.
Yeah, I can say that.
Self-destructive coping mechanisms.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
a lot of people don't realize. I mean, I'm not going to say there's anything more safe than others, but smoking weed is more safe than drinking alcohol. People don't smoke and then go have reckless car accidents and mow down a hole.
I'd rather get in the car with somebody who's stoned than somebody who's drunk.
Yeah, people who are generally high or stoned are more like, the only thing they're worried about is blowing their high. Like they don't want to lose their the level of happiness that they feel. But I mean, people who are drunk get belligerent. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
depression, suffer from anxiety. Some people, I have insomnia, very strong insomnia. So that means I can go 48 hours with no sleep. Sometimes you need to have that sleep. You know, there are a lot of reasons. Sometimes you need to have that sleep.
You can become delusional if you're not sleeping. Robert, what are your coping skills?
My coping skills. I like to isolate myself.
You do.
Yeah.
You know what? I noticed that. Like you're really quiet. And are you shy? Or are you just like being alone?
I don't know. Once I get to know somebody, I'm not shy.
Yeah.
I just like to be alone.
You're like me.
I feel that.
I believe it or not, I'm very shy.
Like if I had an island to myself, I'll probably be happy.
You in Paris. Oh my God.
It's weird that you say that because I have like desperately
wanted to go to
said
an
before
island
that. Well, no. Well, yeah. I mean, when I've been like at my wit's end, I sometimes exclaim to people that I wish I had my own planet.
Oh, you?
I can relate to
I wish I
that.
had my own
I can
planet.
strongly relate to that.
But let me tell you something. I appreciate that you guys can relate to that. I think a lot of people can. And I also want to share the fact that this friend said to me one time when I cried out that I just wish I was on my own planet because then I can be happy because then I could feel free. And that's really what we all think want, and what keeps us from our happiness is we just don't feel free to be ourselves. So anyway, my friend said, you do have your own planet. This is your planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to tell people like
there are no rules.
it's your own movie. Like you're the director and the lead actor or actress. Like it's your story. You tell your story. You write your own script, and you don't. Society has its own script for you, but you write your own. You know, you write your own ticket. You write your own script.
I want to thank everybody for being a part of this discussion. I think it's just so important for people to know that, homelessness and mental health issues can come from any culture, any age, any financial background. So let the public know where they can find you all at. You can find me at Mia St. John Boxer on Twitter and Instagram. And Lexi, where can they find you?
Lexi Bayode on Facebook and Lexus by one on Instagram.
Harris.
Yeah, I guess if you want to, get in touch and see what else I'm trying to put out there in the world as I continue on my journey. I'm not really big into social media, but I'm kind of getting back into it just so I can, get used to sharing myself authentically. But it's just my name, Paris St. John, on Insta.
And Robert.
I too have just created a few social media accounts.
I know we tweet each other.
Yeah. I'm not big on Twitter, but my Instagram is Rob Allah. And
you spell it?
ROB.ALLAH. And that's my Insta. If you want to follow that.
And they're on if you guys follow me, they're on my Instagram and my Twitter. And Shane.
Oh, Shane. Yes, you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Shane Van Peebles or just Shane Peebles. Instagram, Shane_AK47 kid.
Okay. Marcus, where are you at?
You can find me on Twitter at _1 Lucchini. That's LUCHINI. Instagram is thereal.Lucchini, LUCHINI. PlayStation gamer tag Pressure 13 PREZSURE 13 if you want to game sometime. But yeah, definitely find us on Twitter, Instagram. I don't really do the Facebook thing, but
Yeah, I don't know. I don't do Facebook anymore.
yeah, game.
And if you guys want to find Step Up at Step Up on Second, and is there a Daniel's Place Twitter, Instagram?
So there's a Daniel's Place Facebook page. So if you just Google Daniel's Place Santa Monica, the Facebook page will come up. And there's a soon to be Instagram for Daniel's Place. It's all under construction right now.
Okay, we got to get a Twitter too. Todd, where are you? Where can they find you? Well, Daniel's Place, don't they have a website? No.
Through the Step Up website, stepuponsecond.org, and Todd at stepuponsecond.org, and Todd Lipka.
And thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks, Mom.